Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Reading Stupid Facebook Comments by Historians. You guys liked the first video more than I thought you would, and you guys wanted me to make more, so here we go. I'm on the same page, which I'm not going to go through as much of a spiel for context. If this is the first video in the series you're watching, you should probably watch the first one first. But basically, I belong to a Facebook page, right? I follow a Facebook page that basically posts a bunch of World War I colorized photographs, and I love the page because the people who run the page actually go through and they do their research and they get the history of the photograph as accurately as they possibly can. And then the people who colorize these photos make them look like they were, they're modern photographs, they're modern color photographs. They also do a lot of research to figure out what colors are what. And it's just a really cool page. I really enjoy it. The part that I don't enjoy is what I call the Boomer Brigade, because it consists of mainly older people in their 50s to 70s. A lot of them are from the UK. I believe this page is based in the UK, so that might explain a little bit of that. But they have these really weird kind of romanticized, dramatic narratives that they constantly fucking project in the comment section. And they're the same comments over and over again. And a lot of it's really just ridiculous, because a lot of this shit's, people project their own mental kind of state, if you will, like their subconscious state without even realizing it. I do it, you do it, everybody does it. Like somebody brought up in the comments earlier on the first video, if you go look at the Mona Lisa, some people think she's smiling, some people think she's sad. Well, it depends on what state of mind you're in. I just think it looks like somebody that was content and, posing to get painted, but I don't know, does that say anything about my state of mind? Psychologists out there, weigh in. I'm just kidding, I don't give a fuck what you think. So, yeah. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post up the picture, and you should definitely go follow the page. It's worth following. I'm not advocating, I disavow any trolling or, dogpiling that this may cause. I didn't think people were actually going to watch this video. So I do not condone that action, but I do condone you, and I encourage you to follow the page because they do have really good photographs on there. It's a really good way to kind of bring history to life. Now, I'm going to put up the picture right here. This is the one from today. Now, if I keep doing this, you guys are probably going to get really bored of the same comments. So this is a photograph we can see of a bunch of German soldiers, obviously wearing their combat dress. It looks like they're using horses to pull a wagon up a really muddy little hill before they get to the top of it. Now, I see this as they're trying not to get stuck, or they've probably been stuck a few times. They're trying to just get over this fucking hill, and they're just sucking, and none of them look happy. Right? It's just a soldier's life. That's what you're doing. You're sucking ass. It's wet. It's nasty. There's barbed wire. They cleared a path. That's what it looks like to me. If we get in further, which I won't do on here, you can analyze the uniforms. You see the officer obviously standing in the foreground, not doing anything, which is pretty typical of a European military and kind of the U.S. military sometimes. Never mind. Anyway, so this is what you see. You see a bunch of guys. You see 4 horses, a cart, and just a shitty situation. This is the Spring Offensive of 1918, by the way. That's what the caption says. So, shall we get to the comments? First one. I've already replied to some of these, but I won't read my replies, and I won't read names, because I won't do that. First comment. First fucking comment. That's an amazing photo. Agreed. Just look at that landscape. Yeah. And poor horses. Sad face. Emoji. Oh. Alright, we'll just keep going. Somebody again with probably English is not their first language, so bear with me. People beating horses to get in time for killing, parentheses, be killed by, parentheses, other people. Nice coloring. Basically, I think he's saying people beating horses just to, just in time to get killed by other people is what he's trying to say. If you think they're beating horses, you've never seen somebody whip a horse. It's not exactly like you're whipping them to kill them. It's just to kind of startle them and get their attention so they move. As for the horse is good too. They get stuck in that mud and break an ankle or something. Not good for the horse. So, but hey, what do I know? Oh, where was that? I'm sorry. There's usually a slew of just whatever. Just neutral comments, I guess. Alright, here we go. And this is part of what looks like that's probably Gen X. That's definitely Gen X, so we won't say Boomer Brigade. It's female, though. Noticing a pattern here. Poor, poor horses with a sick face. Okay, next comment. Looks like a Boomer Brigade male. Nah, maybe. Anyway, again, poor horses. Noticing a pattern here? Don't hear much about the humans in that photo, which is kind of interesting. Next one, insanity. I just typed agreed. Never again. Well, it happened 20 years later. So there was a question. Cool. All men, women, children, and horses a pointless waste, proving that there is no glory in war. May they all rest in peace. Well, thanks for putting a value and recognizing that there's actually humans in the picture. Judging from the comments, you'd think it's just a picture of horses getting the shit beat out of them. With, you know, just by nobody, by just whatever. And the next comment, no one won that war. Something I can agree with. And so here's a really interesting one from an, you know, you got to know this guy's an internet expert. The film and theater performance War Horse covers this. Amazing film. It actually doesn't cover this exact fucking scenario. It actually covers 1916, and it was a British soldier and horse, and it was a very. They took a lot of liberties, a lot of creative liberties making that movie. Although it was cool, and they got a Mark IV tank to you know, get up and running and all that stuff. I think it was a Mark IV. Somebody's probably going to be like, nope, it was a blah, 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 you fucked that up. And that's all they're going to take from the entire video. So if you're that person, good for you. I don't envy your existence. Anyway, whenever somebody just quotes like a movie, as you know, it's like basically relating to every time somebody hears Fortunate Son, oh, Vietnam. Or else they hear somebody about boot camp, they think Full Metal Jacket. It's like you're in this point where your brain's like barely firing on, you know, 4 out of 10 cylinders, but it's still firing. It's just making a lot of noise. Once in a while, it makes it, you know, one of that 5th cylinder will fire, and it's like, oh, I draw a connection to movie, because that's all you really know about, and that's pretty standard with the historical experts online, is they use movies as a historical reference, and that's where they get a lot of their information, and then spew that at parties like it's a fact. Very interesting. Just a little thing about films is there are no films that get it 100%. None of them. There's some that get closer than others, but there are no films to this day that I think, you know, films, not documentaries, like actual movies, productions, that get it 100%. So, there's a little thing for you. So, great colorization. Just a shame the picture shows the awful brutality metered out to those poor animals. Again, I don't think people nowadays have ever seen a horse getting whipped. It's not something just for punishment. It's not something for pain, you know, to inflict just to inflict pain. It's not something to permanently hurt the animal. It serves a purpose for both the animal and the rider and the people who are doing that, again, to get out of a spot quick, to speed up. They don't just sit there and whip the piss out of the horse the entire time they're riding. They'd be tired, okay? Again, I don't even ride horses. I'm not an equestrian expert, and I understand that basic fucking logic. So, it's like, if you think that's bad, have you ever seen horses in the wild getting mauled by other predators? Yeah, it's not a pretty fucking sight. I think I'd rather see a human, you know, whipping a horse a little bit to get it moving in one certain instance than a bunch of wolves and shit take down a horse and eat it while it's still alive, or a bear take down a horse and eat it while it's still alive. Pretty sure it's a little bit less gruesome than what happens in the wild to wild horses. And yes, horses weren't always domesticated, just so you know that. So, and there's a guy talking about, you know, how he knows this vast thing. The real beginning of the end for Germany was the day the Schlieffen Plan failed. So not even relevant really to the photo, but just professing how much of an expert he is. So then I said everyone's an expert, and then got lambasted for that. So point proven. So here's another one that I didn't comment on, but it's just like this kind of shit And this guy, let me guess. Yeah, probably. Used to feel pride for my nation in that war, but after the glory wears off, you realize these boys/men were sent to be slaughtered for nothing. First of all, were you fucking there? Because you speak as if you were, right? But after the glory wears off, I used to feel pride for my nation after the glory wears off. What fucking glory? What are you talking about? What nation are you from? Were you there? No, you weren't. So you realize that these boys and men were sent to be slaughtered for nothing. Well, I mean, that's a pretty debatable statement. Nothing, like just whatever. I mean, war is in itself pretty pointless. But, I mean, obviously these people died for a reason. We might not ever know what the fuck that is. But to say it was for nothing is pretty, it's pretty basic level, and it's just a pretty blanket statement. And it's kind of a smack in the face to all the people who did die who thought they were fighting for something. If you think about it. Even though I tend to agree with the sentiment, this guy just sucks at communicating it because he doesn't fucking know how to talk. That's why, yeah, never mind, I won't go there. Alright, now here's a wild boomer female in the natural habitat Facebook comment section. Horrific humans. You know, and somebody kind of called her on that and said, you know, the British Army wasn't, you know, but okay, I'll keep this short. So, you know, our wild boomer female says, if humans want to destroy each other, that's fine by me, but leave other animals and wildlife out of it. And I just said, you know, society's in a great place where human life is valued less than the lives of animals. If humans are worse than animals, why does this woman exist? I mean, really, you know, good job putting different values on you know, different forms of life. To me, that's extremely, extremely problematic in a society. If you've got a society of people, a large group, a swath of people, and I know a lot of younger people that are like this too, who think that animals are, you know, more, their lives are worth more than humans. And they come up with all these excuses about, oh, humans have hurt me, they've done this, they've lied to me, they've done that. If you think an animal's life is, you know, more important than a human's, and that's a pretty widely accepted thing, society is fucked. And I'm not just saying that like the doomsayer of, oh god, the sky is falling. It's not a good place to be if humans lack that much empathy for their fellow human. Really not a good thing at all. So that's what leads to this kind of wholesale shit being able to happen. Like World War I is when you lack empathy. Just a little note like that. So if you fall into that category, kind of maybe do a double take and go, why do I value an animal's life more than I would value a human being's life? Kind of something to think about there, just my opinion. But again, I kind of am obsessed with history, and it seems to be a pattern that when there's no empathy for your fellow human, really bad shit kind of goes down. All right, so here's kind of an off-topic one that was interesting, but yeah, and Germany produced more armaments in 1918 than it did in 1945. Kind of, but there's a reason for that. Although there's, raw materials were kind of in short supply in Germany in the First World War in 1918 specifically, they kept their infrastructure intact. What happened was the entire Second World War, the Allies bombed the ever-loving shit out of German infrastructure in Germany and all around Europe, surrounding countries, even though they had infrastructure in other countries in the Second World War. By the time 1945 rolled around, you've got U.S. and Allied troops rolling in and physically capturing these areas. They're no longer being bombed. They're no longer producing shit. So yeah, they're going to produce less. Plus, they had a raw materials kind of shortage because of the whatever. So yes, that's why that happened. And I kind of explained that in there. Maybe I didn't explain it that well, but whatever. All right, so I've got another one. A diabolically pointless waste. I would agree with that. Yeah, and then it was basically somebody said something, and then the original commenter just said, I'm talking about the animals in the post, a diabolically pointless waste. And I was like, yeah, you know, those poor animals, never the fuck mind the people who were sent there, you know, as well. You know, animals are more important, kind of following along that same sentiment. So that's all I've got. I got blocked by a couple of the other fuckers that I lit up on here, so, you know, maybe you go on and see what I wrote, maybe you don't, but yeah, they blocked me because I said things that weren't nice, and I used foul language. But anyway, so that's all I can see for this picture. Again, I understand. I value life in general. I value animals. I value humans. If I had to choose between saving the life of a horse or a human, probably going to choose the human because I think that that's the right thing to do. If you think otherwise, I don't exactly know if I feel comfortable being around you and if I trust you. So that's a cool thing. But anyway, that's, this is a different flavor. But here's the thing: is every time they post something with any animal, any fucking animal, it can be a cat, which there was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, there was a picture of some cats, and people were like, "Oh God, I hope they made it. Oh God, why bring animals into the war? You cruel fucking humans!" And I'm like, I mean, A, that's so predictable. B, shut the fuck up. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, I've seen some good discussions on here. Like, the whole, was it true that they produced more in 1918 than they did in 1945? Interesting question. Cool. It's sparked up a conversation. It's neat. Other things have happened, like why are they wearing that uniform or whatever, but very rarely does that happen because the comments just immediately get filled up. And I can do this because they post at least one picture a day. I could probably do this every single day, but you guys you're gonna notice a pattern really quick, and you're gonna get really sick of it and be like, okay, we get it. And it's the same thing on the World War II colorized photograph page, which I was somehow banned from commenting on because maybe I said some mean things, aka the truth, saying, because I remember on that one, I think what it was they jerk off to D-Day in Normandy like it's fucking insane. And they, jerk off to Easy Company, 2nd Battalion, 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment, unit that very few people know about. Well, they do that whole Normandy thing, and it's like they say D-Day, 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 D-Day. And I'm like, which one? There were like fucking hundreds of them. D-Day is just a code word for a day your fucking operation's going down, right? But they're like, the D-Day, don't you know what you're talking about? And I went off like a, tornado, and I guess they didn't like that. I don't remember what I said or whatever. It was a while ago. But I can still look at the page, but maybe I can just read stupid comments on there, too, if you guys want me to do that. It's the same old shit, though, except that one's the greatest generation. That's what it was. Somebody said the greatest generation, and I said, yeah, the greatest generation at fucking over their kids, and therefore fucking over us. And I listed a bunch of ways that they fucked over everybody because of the age of decadence after the Depression. And they didn't like that too much because, you're disrespecting the vets. I'm like, nah, it wasn't just the vets that fucked up that entire thing. But anyway, so I digress quite a bit. I will stop ranting. Let me know what you think. If you like this and you like my other content, consider becoming a supporter on Patreon or becoming a channel member. It really does help. Got a lot of cool Patreon support and channel members, which are the sponsors of my videos. I want to keep it that way. I want to keep it crowd and self-funded. I don't really want to go like the corporate sponsorship route. Once they get bigger to be able to afford what everybody wants me to make. I'd rather just, crowd and self-funding is the way to go. It's so easy, so much easier to control. You don't have people saying, hey, you need to release a video about our product. You signed a contract. And it's, stuff that I actually don't necessarily like that I have to pretend I like. I mean, I'll do reviews and stuff. If companies want to send me shit to review, I'll do an honest review. But I don't ever want to get to that point where it's like a corporate sponsorship thing. So that's why I encourage Patreon and channel membership. So if you want to do that, $5 a month or more gets you on either platform. Gets into my Discord server, which is pretty fun. Got a lot of people on there. And this past year's been great for that. I've been able to do a lot of stuff, and this year's going to be freaking awesome because of the support we have, and it's ever growing. So there you go. And if you can't support it financially, you're supporting it by watching it. Make sure you share it out if you like this and you agree with this stuff and kind of get sick of it like I do and whatever. And yeah, just give it a thumbs up. Do all the algorithm shit. Comment. Do your thing. So, all right. Thanks for watching, everybody, and perhaps we'll see you on the next episode if I find a nice juicy comment section on Facebook, which really isn't fucking hard to find. Later!